Good afternoon. I'm Justine Pantelejeva. As Jānis mentioned, I study spatial development planning in a master's program, but today I represent the wonderful Green Manual for Use Space team. This is an international project developed by NGOs. There were 3 participating countries, Finland, Latvia and Belarus. Finland was represented by Demos Helsinki, Belarus by Minsk Bicycle Society, and Latvia by Hemo Ecos Sarkandaugava Development Society. And there were 2 other participants from Latvia. This project was supported by the Nordic Council of Ministers. This project is, in a way, the continuation of the discussions that we have had in Riga for several years, namely about the youth and their athletic activities in the city. But today we have a much wider scale and scope, basically how we can involve the youth in the urban city planning. So why do we have to continue to speak about the youth and about this topic? In Latvia, a young person is a person who is from 13 to 25 years of age. So in the UA it's 30. At the beginning of 2015 we had 277,000 youth, which is 14% from all the inhabitants. This number decreases year on year. Irrespective of that, this is the group that will vote, that will pay taxes, will stay or will leave. These are the people who will create our economy, our culture, innovations, and society. And we definitely agree that they are part of our future and they are worth our effort and attention. The youth in the city, unfortunately, are not seen, and they don't have enough public spaces that they could use. Also, they are not taken into account as stakeholders or educational or interest groups that could participate in the discussion about the urban development plans. But still, this group finds it very important that they have informal places for meeting or open spaces where they can spend their time after the university or after the school, a place that is free, comfortable and socially inclusive. Yes, in a way the children and youth centers could serve for this purpose, but they are not always easily reachable, and also the youth may face various social problems. And also the range and the number of programs is not always sufficient, and they do not always meet the true needs and requirements of the youth. This program also relies on Riga Development Program for 2014-2020, and according to this program, the youth and children's programs don't have sufficient coverage in all the areas of Riga. As to urban living and planning and development, I think this group is very important because they are the most active users of public spaces. But at the same time, they have very little possibility to have their opinions heard, especially if we speak about informal zones like skate parks. Here you see ghetto games, which is one of the most popular and most successful long-term projects in Riga. In Grīziņkalns, there were discussions about a possible solution on how to improve the public spaces so that the youth can spend quality time there. Yes, of course, they have started this discussion and they have also allocated a certain space for skaters, but there are still conflicts between various stakeholder groups and skateboarders. We recently saw an example at the National Library where the planners had unwittingly developed a perfect space for skateboarders. But they actually appeared at this building, they were not welcomed. And this conflict is quite logical. Because for cities, the most interesting group is families with children, and usually the children are perceived as children only until the age of 7. So children's playgrounds and similar topics are usually in the agenda, but older children are not mentioned anywhere. The youth have to be a part of this local development network because they are the experts of the urban reality. And though the skateboarders and BMX drivers are a part of our public space already, we have to ask what other capacities and possibilities we have and what other sports we could have in the city. This split between the needs and wishes and the rest of the society could have long-term consequences, as we saw in the UK with Brexit. This topic was discussed very extensively, and the Stay and Leave campaign actually had similar results before the actual voting. And it seems that the youth until the age of 24 could actually cast the decisive vote, but very few of them actually voted. Still, those that voted definitely voted for the stay. Why is it relevant or important for us? I don't think that the situation in Latvia is much different. In 2013, the Ministry of Education carried out a survey on the opinions of the youth with regards to their possibility to participate in the political decision-making. And 68% of them said that they feel that their possibility to participate is small or none. So these limitations, as well as the risk of poverty and many other aspects, actually determines that this topic of social inclusion is still very topical in Latvia and in the EU. So how can we contribute to social inclusion? How can we strengthen other issues? I think if we do that, then we could strengthen societies, communities, could result in various innovations. The youth actually adapt very quickly, they perceive new things quickly, and they can be part of our solution. For example, to our hugest, biggest challenge, climate change. They are very adaptive. They have such a huge desire to experiment, and they could become the driving force that drives our society to a much more better environment. Of course, we can speak about urbanization and the growth of cities, which results in cities becoming much more powerful. And we can even compare the power and the economic potential of certain cities with those of smaller countries. Also, in this age of technology, we have discussions or statements about the need for new technology, which is true, but still our communities could become a backbone of very adaptive cities, since many changes can be successfully implemented at an individual level, like the green cars. But returning to the project, since this was a short introduction, I would like to say that we started the active stage of the project in March of this year. We worked with grade 8 and grade 10 pupils of Riga Secondary School number 28. We taught them about various environmental aspects, about their role in cities and how cities affect the environment. We taught them communication skills and basics in social media. And we also spoke about the creation of spaces. So basically, we discussed with them how they can change the environment that they know, namely the environment of Sarkandaugava. The first large event we had at the end of April, and we called it Breaking into the City. We chose the geographical center of Sarkandaugava, which is 100 meters from Alexis Square, and it's basically a crossroad of two major streets, a transport hub. There are some stores in this square, so the actual environment is quite degraded and nobody wants to stay there more than actually needed. So we invited the youth to speak about this problem and try to break into the space and create something new. As you see, they painted the bricks and concrete plates. They renovated the sandbox. There was also an exhibition about this area of Riga. The next stage, we worked with the sense of the environment. They had the moderator, and together with the moderator they went on a tour and learned about this specific environment in Alderis Park. It is no secret that this year Riga City Council had a tender on the renovation of this park. So it was a wonderful opportunity to look into the minds of these children so that we could see what is their vision with regards to the future of this park. And the school certificates for this particular year was given to the children in this park, and we also organized an exhibition on how this park could look like in 2020. And now this exhibition has been moved to Alexis Square. In summer we had a more relaxed stage, and we actually had two events, two break-ins into the city. The second event took place in Alderis Park. We constructed a stage from recycled materials, for example pallets, and the stage will be able to serve for many years until the restoration of the park is begun. Tad mēs augusta beigās aicinājām cilvēkus no citām Rīgas apkaimēm un visus interesants iepazīstināt ar Sarkandaugavu un Kundziņas salu. Bet kā noslēguma pasākums bija šī gada septembrī, kad mēs rīkojām starptautisku pilsētu plānošanas treniņu jauniešiem no dalībvalstīm, no Baltkrievijas, Somijas un Latvijas, un dažus dalībnieks Latvijas šodien arī šeit redzu. Un treniņā piedalījās jaunieši, viņi devās ekskursijās pa Sarkandaugavu, viņi iepazina esošo situāciju, Sarkandaugavas īpatnības. They considered the existing situation and the peculiarities of this place, and they also worked with the tasks given to them by the architects, and they had to understand what youth will need from this environment. Then we also organized one-to-one modeling, basically how to ensure that their ideas and the actual profile are merged and a 3D model is created. In addition to that, we had the first Aldaris Park Festival, and during this festival the participants were informed about the winners of the competition and both project applications. The participants could also paint as a concrete wall, thus contributing to the development of this park. We also had music, we had a DJ, we also grilled some sausages, so this was a very nice event. At the end, we prepared a manual, and I would like to present it. It is devoted to successful and creative participation of the youth in the urban planning. This material will be finalized by November, and it has three main target groups, namely NGOs and local action groups, schools and municipalities. It will be printed in a month, but we will also have a homepage so that information networks can be created. It consists of guidelines in 6 categories: sustainable and environmentally friendly lifestyle, empowerment, diversity, inclusion, social and economic innovations, new management forms, and safety. And under these categories, it will be possible to study not only theoretical aspects, but also case studies from various European countries on how to promote innovative methods and how to promote inclusion. We were also inspired by the experience of other organizations. I believe that the best thing about this manual is that each group has specific paragraphs, specific articles, basically what and how things should be done. There are also very specific recommendations. These guidelines were developed to demolish borders between states, groups, social groups, places, and so on. And we would like to invite everyone to participate in this project, maybe by participating in case studies or by maybe implementing this project in our schools or municipalities. We would also like to invite various youth organizations to create informal and innovative methods to involve the youth in decision making, and to invite them to participate in a discussion on how we can ensure that we are a better society, a better city, and how we can create a better urban environment. Thank you.
Paldies, Justīne.